Yeah, see the ambulance? It's a traffic accident. That's what's got traffic so fucked up today. Hopefully that doesn't happen to me, man. I don't like wrecking. I've had accidents before on bikes, and that's why I armor up all the fucking time. Because let me tell you something, the first time you fall and you have a big area of skin ripped off your freaking leg and bones are fucking cracked, it is not a pleasant experience. After my last really big accident, which was in '91, and I know that sounds like an eon ago, but it hurt like hell. Drunk driver pulled out in front of me. I was doing about 60, 65, had a buddy of mine on the back. I was driving a brand new Yamaha Virago 750 Cruiser. Fucking loved that bike. It was when shaft drives were first coming out, getting really popular. Him and I, we went out partying that night, went to a club, met some chicks. We were having such a good time. And the problem was I was married at the time and being stupid, young, and reckless. But I wanted to be home by a certain time, so my buddy and I got on this bike, and thank God we had helmets on. I remember loaning my buddy my wife's helmet. And we were on our way home. It was close to midnight, leaving the bar. And I'd been drinking, he had been drinking. And I don't like to say I was okay to drive, but I was all right to drive. Remember, we were on our way home. We're going into the intersection. I look up, and right at midnight, the lights all changed from going red to green to I got a flashing yellow, and the cross intersection has flashing reds. Because I was on a main thoroughfare, a main interstate, highway, whatever. And I remember I see the car come, and it stops. So I'm figuring, he sees me. I actually gave it a little bit more gas to get through the intersection, just a little quicker. I was the only vehicle in the road. And as I'm entering the intersection, out of the corner of my eye, I see the car just come right in. It happened so fast. I think I said, oh shit, but I don't even think I got the shit. I think all that came out was oh before I hit him. And I T-boned him right, I think it was right behind his front tire. He was in like an old Ford Crown Vic, that type of vehicle. Well, the bike just dug into the car like an arrow. The handlebars caught my hips, and the handlebars actually bent all the way forward. Both of them did. Where they basically came between my legs, and I flopped over the bike, hit the car, flopped down, rolled down the asphalt for about 60 feet. I remember I had my belt and some of the belt loops, but my jeans were fucking gone. My underwear, gone. All that was left on me was my belt loops, some remnants of my jeans. I think I had my boots were still on. And it hit me so hard, it literally knocked the shit out of me. I was laying out in the middle of the road. It was about 28 degrees outside. I remember my jacket had been ripped open, and I had this intense pain in my abdomen, my pelvis, my nuts. I remember some guys covering me up with their coats to keep me warm, and I was laying in some, what I thought was gas. Ambulance came, took me away, and I remember the nurses treated me like shit in that emergency room, because in their mind it was like, oh, here's just another drunk driving motherfucker, and they fucked with me. They refused to clean me. They didn't give me any medication for pain. And I'm telling you, I've been a nurse for almost 20 years, and the way those nurses acted in that hospital, was fucking inexcusable. And pardon the cussing, because when I think about it, it infuriates the shit out of me. I mean, if these nurses don't like taking care of patients, especially in the emergency room, what the fuck are they doing there? That's why I don't take any bullshit excuse from any nurse out there that works the emergency room. And that goes for doctors too. You chose to work there. So don't bitch when you get the occasional drug overdose, drunk driver, suicide, because I'm telling you, hospital staff, nurses, doctors, they treat patients that they feel are like less than they are like shit in the emergency room. They purposely take a long time in taking them pain medication. They purposely will fuck with them just to make them that much more miserable, because maybe they don't agree with the situation that they're dealing with in the hospital or in the emergency room. And I'm telling you guys, I see that shit all the time. I did a lot of ICU trauma back in the day for a level 2 center. Used to do a lot of floating down in the emergency room. And I used to see the games the doctors and the nurses would play. And I am telling you, it is fucking inexcusable. If a drunk driver is out driving drunk and he's breaking the law, and let's say he has an accident and he fucks up a family, so the family's fucked up, the drunk driver's fucked up, you know what, man, it's not your job to judge, it's your job to treat. As nurses and doctors, we're advocates for patients, and that's all of them. So when they come in and they got a broken pelvis and a broken spine and possibly a broken leg, you don't hold pain medication because you think it's funny, because you think they deserve what they got. Because I'm telling you, it's everywhere. Man, I could tell you guys some fucking stories on YouTube, I swear to God. I'm going to tell you one fucking... I had a patient. He came in, literally walked into the emergency room with his wife. This was a middle-aged guy, 42, 43, maybe 45. School teacher, loved by his kids, loved by his family, good guy. You know, this wasn't one of the below low-class citizens I was trying to talk about earlier. This was a all-around good guy. Everybody respected him. He had a good job. He was good in society, productive. Comes walking into the emergency room. His major complaint was headache with a little bit of nausea and vomiting. And this is the ER guy, so most people, when they come in and they're saying they have a headache, this is beyond, hey, I woke up this morning with a headache and I need some Tylenol. That means there's a problem, or he wouldn't be in the emergency room. Especially a crowded level 2 emergency room waiting for hours to be seen. This gentleman who's older, no drug history, he's not drug seeking. This is a guy that is seeking help because his headaches are fucking killing him. That's basically all there is to it. So he gets triaged, vital signs are fine, his blood pressure's not too high. He's just saying, man, I can't get rid of this fucking headache. I've had it for a day or two. Nothing's working and getting rid of it. It's starting to make me a little nauseated. I'm dizzy. I think I need to see somebody. Now, enter the nurse, me. I start taking care of the guy. And I'm giving this guy, just like all my patients, and I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I'm giving this guy my undivided attention. I'm trying to do everything I can for him, get an IV going, get the lab work. So enter the doctor. I tell the doctor what's going on with the guy, give him my assessment, my vitals, you know, and I simply ask the doc, hey, you know, are we going to get a CT scan of this guy's head? Which a few years earlier would have been common practice for anybody coming in with a headache with symptoms. The doctor looks at me and he's like, and you could see that he's contemplating it. So the order was, you know what, we're going to hold off on the CT, give him some Demerol for the pain, give him some Phenergan for the nausea. You can tell this is a long time ago because they don't give that stuff anymore. And let's just keep an eye on him and let's see how he does. So bam, 25 of Demerol, 25 of Phenergan, his IV push back in the day. Patient, of course, gets woozy, goes to sleep. Wife's with him at the bedside. I decide I'm going to start looking at other patients, and I'll just step in from time to time to see how he's doing. I don't know, maybe an hour later, maybe an hour and a half later, I start hearing this guy, and he is snoring up a storm. I went in, checked on him. He's laid there with his feet crossed, hands folded across his chest. Wife looks at me and says, he's fine, but I've never seen him snore like this. So I'm thinking, hey, you know, he's probably the Phenergan and Demerol is really kicking in. This guy's going to sleep for a while. I notice, I don't know how, but it couldn't have been but 10 minutes later, working with another patient, a cardiac patient, I noticed there's a little bit of a change in this guy's breathing. It's deeper. It's a little bit more noisy, to be honest with you. It did not sound like regular breathing to me. It sounded like what we call Cheyne-Stokes breathing. You guys can check that term out. And a lot of times you'll see a patient, he'll do Cheyne-Stokes respiration. Usually you're going to see that when there's something really wrong. They're losing consciousness, they're dying. There's an obviously major change in their status. And this guy sounded to me like he was Cheyne-Stoking. So I remember I went back in there, I checked him out, started to do another head-to-toe assessment on him, checked his pupils, noticed that there's a difference in the size between one side to the other. I don't remember which. And I remember thinking, holy shit, this guy's having a major stroke. We got a problem. Ran out, got the doctor, told the doctor what my findings were. Doctor says, okay, let's get a CT scan stat. I go in, we get the guy prepped for CT. The guy codes, heart stops, we have to intubate him. We're doing CPR on him as we're rolling him to the CT scan. We do a CT. Guy had a massive hemorrhagic stroke, venous in nature, so it took a little while to develop. And he had midline shift of his brain. I mean, the motherfucker, it was I don't even know if we would have been able to save him if we would have done the CT when he first walked in. We got him back after coding him for a while, got a pulse back, had him on a ventilator, and we desperately needed a neurosurgeon to come in and evacuate some of the blood from his brain, maybe put in some sort of drain to relieve the pressure. But I remember we could not find a physician. We could not find a neurosurgeon. And I just remember at the time being completely and utterly beside myself. He's gone. He's gone. Yeah, patient died. And I remember the doctor telling me, you're going to have to go tell the family what happened. The doctor wouldn't even go out and talk to the family. So I hope that you enjoy my blog. Thank you for listening to me. Like and subscribe. More videos to come about all kinds of subjects. If you have any suggestions or comments, please post it below and I will answer. This is Rocket Man Mike, Houston, Texas. I'll see you later.